What's up, guys? Welcome back to Calgary Barbell. We're here entering the last training block, the last big developmental heavy training block leading into the IPF Classic Worlds that are going to be here in Calgary. It's a very exciting time. Today was a really good session. I'm feeling the strongest that I've felt in a long time. I'm getting very little pain in my squats and in my deadlifts. My bench feels like it's in a good place. I'm pretty excited. Pretty excited about what could come at Worlds. I'm a lot less worried about where I place, and a lot more worried about putting together a good performance. We'll go through a little bit of today's training, and then maybe I'll talk a little bit more about sort of where I'm at mentally at the end of the video here. But to start off with today, it's looking a lot like my training for last Worlds. And that was kind of the inaugural training log of this whole channel. So anybody who was with us or who has been with us since then, shout out to you guys. You'll remember the kind of stuff that I'm going to be doing. Basically, I'm going to be doing squat, bench, deadlift, baseline volume in the competition lifts, about 2 sets of each per day. Plus once a week, I'll be doing heavy singles in the comp lifts. Plus I'll be doing accessory movements and supplemental movements. So today's lift was competition squat, worked up to a single, got up to 265, and it felt mint. Moved really well, no pain, nice and tight in the bottom, no issues with my movement, and then came down into 2 sets of 4 at 232.5 kilos. Those all felt really good too. Maybe a little bit sloppier on the rep work, a couple things I could probably tighten up there, but really good for a first day into the block. I did 2 sets of 3 at 145 kilos on the bench. After that, comp pause. Again, moved really well. Everything's feeling like it's kind of clicking and smooth. The groove is greased, so to speak. From those, I went on to do some incline pin press. I figured out a little bit of a better pin height for my incline pin press on the rack we have over there. If I put the back heights at a different height than the front heights, that sets them at just the right height, whereas if I set them evenly, either lower or higher, it seems to be too low or too high for where I want to be stopping. After those, we did the question of the day. So our question of the day today, guys, comes from Jeff King. Now, Jeff works 60 to 80 hours a week, takes care of a dog, trying to take classes at a local college. Time management is a thing, but he's wondering how to manage his fatigue with a demanding training schedule and a demanding schedule outside of the gym. Now, a couple of things in terms of managing energy levels when you're extremely busy. I think my reference for that would be times when I'm training with much higher volumes, and fatigue management in the same way becomes a big issue. And one of the biggest ways you can do that acutely and in the gym per session is by using less hype, less arousal, and getting less jacked up for your sets. So if you're hitting ammonia for your top singles at an 8 and you're yelling and screaming and getting yourself very hyped up for your sets, that's obviously going to take a much bigger toll. So if you can avoid doing that, go into your sets calmly and with confidence, that's going to help you manage a little bit of fatigue right there. The other things are going to be just making sure that you're sleeping and eating properly. Really no sexy answers there, but if you can get adequate rest, build yourself a pre-sleep routine and a post-sleep routine. Give yourself a little bit of time in the morning before you dive into whatever activities or whatever things or work you have planned for that day. Try and allot yourself some time to kind of move between waking and sleeping and vice versa. So those would be the 3 biggest things. Make sure you're eating enough, maybe increase your food intake a little bit. If you are busy and active, that's going to be obviously a bigger calorie drain on your body. So you can afford to add in a little bit more food. And if you're not active when you're busy, I would just focus on sleep. Make sure your nutrition is quality, that you're hitting your macros, hitting your calories, you're consistent with that, as well as trying to take a little bit of that amped up sort of attitude or that amped up approach to lifting out of it. Be a little bit more calm, a little bit more even keel, and it should tax you a little bit less. Anyways, guys, I hope that helps. We'll get back to the wrap up. So after those pin presses, I moved on to do my competition deadlifts. And competition deadlift for me has been actually a little bit hit and miss over the last little bit. Last block I was doing a lot of the eccentric stuff, and I kind of blamed that and said, oh yeah, you know, I'm like getting tight and it's pushing me out of position because I'm doing these eccentrics and stuff. But I think in actuality, I just got lazy. I wasn't worried about my positioning. I wasn't worried about being technically sound. I was just banging the reps out because I was doing triples, and I just got lazy, got sloppy, and by the end of the block was able to dial things back in. So coming in today with technique very much in mind, I was able to perform more proficiently and do a much better job. I hit 315 for a single, it was a rocket, and then I hit 332.5 for a single, which was probably just as fast. Little bit tender in the old hook grip. It's been a while since I've hook gripped something that heavy. I was doing a rep per set last block, but doing the heavy singles with the hold, it'll take me a couple weeks to get it back to the point where I'm not thinking about it, not worried about it while I'm deadlifting. So I'm looking forward to that kind of numbing out just a little bit even. After my comp deadlift singles, I did a couple sets of 5 at 255 kilos, 70% of my estimated max today. So that was real smooth, real buttery, really working on making sure that I'm locking out every rep, making sure that I'm starting every rep in a good position, not losing it as I initiate off the floor, all these little things, trying to do the little things right, you know? After that, I did some snatch grip RDLs. These are a new movement for me. I've done RDLs, I've done snatch grip stiff legs, I've never done the snatch grip RDLs. So again, with the conventional pattern, I have been pretty cautious as a general rule because I try not to push that too hard. I don't really think for me that doing a whole bunch of conventional work or really pushing my conventional supplemental movement is gonna give me that much transference or carry over to my comp deadlift. And also, it puts me in a position where I'm much more susceptible to kind of setting myself back in terms of the pain I feel in my hips. So, I only worked up to 130 for 10 there, but they felt good. I'm able to kind of really lock in my back and really worry about trying to keep my scapulas, shoulder blades, shoulder blades in good position while I'm doing that. So it really lit my upper back up, felt really good. And that was a training day. But like I was talking about at the beginning of the video, something that I've been thinking a lot more about, and if anybody saw the podcast I did with Mike T not long ago, we talked a lot about the mindset aspect of things. And coming in today, it's very much self-centered, very much self-focused. You can go dark on Instagram, 6 weeks out from a competition so nobody can scope your stuff out. Or you can creep on everybody else's Instagrams and social media posts. You can build a custom RPE chart based on what they're hitting in training. But you know what? None of that matters on game day. Things change, people perform way better, way worse than in training, and there's no way to anticipate that. So to me, it's a waste of energy thinking about where I'm gonna place, what everybody else is gonna do. I know that I'm feeling the best I have. I know what I need to do in the gym each and every session. I know what I need to do when I get on the platform to perform the best that I can. And that's really all it boils down to. So if anybody out there is stressed out about a meet, stressed out about their competition, just let it go. It's gonna be the best thing you can possibly do for your training. Worry about yourself, worry about your own training, redirect all that energy that you're spreading out, worrying about other people's shit, and put it on yourself and on your own training. Become hypercritical and hyper vigilant and get your sleep and get your nutrition, hit your sets, hit your reps, be truthful with your RPEs, get what you need to get in and done, and I guarantee you're gonna perform a lot better. Thanks for tuning in today, guys. It's gonna be a hell of a trip headed into Worlds. I don't know where I'm gonna end up. I'm just out here living my thickest life, letting it all hang out, and that's about it. We'll see you guys in the next video. We do need more questions of the day, so if you guys are still watching, go ahead and comment below, ask us some questions, whatever you want to know about training, whatever, really. And we'll see you guys in that next video.